Are we live? Are we live? I think we're live. Top of the morning to y'all. How is everybody doing? How are we feeling about the deadline today? I am entering this weekend with a plan in mind, but we shall see how it goes in this live stream and what nonsense we can get up to. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. And let me just send out a little message to everyone on Twitter very quickly. Just all right. Okie dokie. How is everyone doing this fine morning? Okay. And just sending out a lovely little message here to Ko-Fi subscribers. If you're not subbed on Ko-Fi yet, why not? Free well, not free. PucksBoxF1Fantasy.com is free. All the tools are free. But if you want that extra convenience of saving your team and so on, then you can do so by subscribing to me on Ko-Fi, Coffee, whatever you want to call it. And then you can save your team there. You get access to my private blog post that I send out, like analysis that I do on the weekend. So I'm sending that out right now. Let's see here. So let's send out a little post here. Okay, we can have this over here. Okay, just formatting everything nicely. Running a little bit out of time this morning, so hey, welcome to everyone who just joined us. It's nice to have you here. All right, I'm just gonna see here. Let me see if I can just fix this. Okay. So, welcome everyone. If you just joined, hey Ryan, nice to see you. It is indeed very much 4A time, very much so, and I'm excited to finally be able to get there without any issues. Like it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice to be able to afford it without having to compromise too much on going 3 million drivers or anything like that. So let me just get this back up again. I was just signing in my secret source, So we've got just a little bit less than 2 hours to go. These are my preemptive teams, shall we say, which I set up while recording my final thoughts video. What is your team looking like, Ryan? Who are you going? Are you on the McLaren? Are you still on Mercedes for the constructor? What are your thoughts? Okay, so one of each. Oh, it's lovely. That's I have a pretty similar setup. So let's have a look at the sims actually, just very quickly. So we got some new sims from Writer. which are very interesting indeed. For everyone who doesn't follow Reiter on X, it's a good idea to do so. Absolute legend. So right now, this is what the Sims are saying at the moment. I think UK, yeah, you can see it. Just checking, is my sound okay? I had some issues with my microphone earlier, and just to make sure everyone can hear me okay. Just drop me in the chat there, please. Would be very helpful. Main team Mercedes for Antonelli Leclerc. I think that's very solid, especially keeping in mind we're going to Monza next, and Kimi's got that grid penalty. I think it's a very, very solid lineup. And Leclerc, I think, is being very, very underrated. And right now he is the second highest predicted driver there. So let's see here. Okay, so perfect. Thanks for confirming the sound is good. Okay, so I just need to finish sending out this message to my supporters on. Okay, let's see. All right, let's do that. Wait, hold on. I need to put this to my members. Copy that, publish. Okay. Okie dokie, artichoke. Mad to boy. You have Norris 2 times, Kimi, Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, Stroll, Mercedes, and Ferrari. I think that's very solid. I think the difference between teams are going to be very slim. Especially looking at the Sims, like McLaren are the clear leader when it comes to the constructor-wise. And just come over to my Sims as well, just as another point of reference. So we've got McLaren projected to have, let's say, 74 points. Mine has Ferrari slightly higher since their race pace seemed to be better than the others. But as a counterpoint, these new Sims from Reiter, they are very more physics-based as opposed to just lap time analysis and such. So he's taking the physical characteristics of the car, comparing it to the track and so on. So it seems that McLaren are the better suited constructor here. So I might switch Mercedes to McLaren, or if you can afford it, maybe Mercedes and McLaren instead of Ferrari. But I think that might be a bit of a stretch there. So I've got McLaren predicted at about 84 points and Mercedes 77. So like we're looking at a small difference here, not massive, like 6 points of difference. Sorry, 7 points between McLaren and Mercedes. So I think Mercedes and Ferrari is a very valid lineup, especially with Kimi in there is also good. So I think that is a pretty solid setup you've got there. And Hulkenberg, I think, is very good. He can't go any lower. Bortoletto, if you can afford that extra 0.2 million, I would go with Lindblad over Bortoletto just because, just go here. So Lindblad has got slightly higher predicted points. I think Bortoletto is going to fall back a bit. So in the sprint race, he qualified, what was it, 8th, I think, or 9th, I can't remember now. But I think if you can afford that 0.2 increase to Lindblad, I think it might be worth that switch over there. If you just look here as well, we've got okay, these are quite a bit pessimistic for the B tier drivers, I think. And I think Stroll is definitely not going to score minus. So like at the top end, like the top constructors and so on, I would defer to F1 Fantasy Tools. But when it comes to the B tier drivers, I kind of prefer my simulations, as I found them to be slightly more accurate, specifically for the B tier drivers and B tier constructors. -10 to get, and then I think the -10 is worth it. I think the -10 is worth it. Just going from Mercedes to McLaren is already a predicted 7 points, and I think Norris is going to take it today. I think he's going to take the victory today and tomorrow as well. Those McLarens are just dang fast, and that's a very, very solid lineup. So I think -10 is worth it. And I believe I'm doing something very similar to that, if I can just come back here. So yeah, with this team here specifically, I think I am going to take a -10 to get to Kimi if I can. Not quite there. Can I get... Okay, so I'm 0.1 million short to get to Bortoleto on this one. So I'm still going to figure out what I'm going to do with this one. But like this, like Kimi and Leclerc is not bad as well. If you can get Norris, I would go Norris. I personally just can't get there without compromising big time on the rest of my team. So like 7 million is not quite enough. Although I could do something like this, which I do not hate at all. So that's also an option that I am considering. Okay. Welcome to everyone who just joined the live stream. It is good to have everyone here. Feel free to leave your questions in the chat or just roast my team selection or anything like that. Grab a coffee, kick back, relax, and enjoy. And let's have some fun before we need to make some decisions. Now, budget-wise, how is everyone looking? Matthew Boy, what's your budget looking like at the moment? And Ryan, what's your budget at the moment as well? If you have that number close by. Let me just hop onto Twitter. I just want to see what everyone else is doing, just very quickly. Let's see if we can find any interesting little takes. Like one person I'm always interested to know about is Porsche F1. They seem to be quite on it. And okay, Pot Pan Man. So okay, Pot Pan Man is going Norris, Antonelli, Alonso, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Ferrari, and McLaren. And he is debating if he takes a -10. I think the -10 is worth it. I think -10 is worth it. Oh, and Rob is also saying he might come down with a -10 as well. So I think a lot of people are going to take a -10 just to get themselves nicely set up for this weekend. 123.7. Okay, that is delicious. Ooh, okay, that is a big budget gain. Now let's just have a look at the budget builder very quickly. It is true, Lindblad seems to be like very likely to go down. Lindblad, where's he? So he needs 13 points. Yeah, that might be a bit of a stretch for him. Bortoleto needs 4 points. Yeah, in that case, I'd probably go for Bortoleto just for the budget kind of thing. Just look here, where's the points versus budget? So during the summer break, I worked on a lot of stuff here. So like, let's say if we sacrifice some points now, in this case, we're gonna, let's say, instead of going for Lindblad, we're going to go for Bortoleto. So we've got a difference of, where are you now? So Lindblad, let's say 10 and Bortoleto 5. So I'm just going to say 5 points for argument's sake. So 5. Okay, and let's say the budget is 2. So we've got 11 and let's say compare this. Okay, all right, let's see. Okay, so here's an interesting one. So I did the simulation and calculations and stuff. So for budget change to be worth it, like taking into account how many races we have left in the season, let's see this. Okay, so like this budget gain basically is how much is this budget gain worth in future points? Thanks, Mad to Boy. Yeah, I like my data and my nerd stuff. This is why I made this site. I love the data here. So, basically, if you sacrifice 5 points now, you get that 0.2 budget gain. This budget gain will only gain you about two-ish points in the future. Like, this is like a very rough estimate, but this is like I ran a lot of simulations and analysis on this. So yeah, the budget gain between Lindblad's budget points is worth more than Bortoletto's price rise at this point. Okay, but we also need to just take into account that, let me just go back down here. So if he goes down by let's say he just goes down by 0.2 and Bortoletto goes up by 0.2. Okay, so that will be a 0.4 million budget gain. So let's just put that in there as well. And then I'm just going to leave it at 11 because it seems like we're going to get... Yeah, so even with this difference in budget of 0.4 million effectively gained. So yeah, I'd say I'd go with Lindblad over Bortoletto just because that budget gain's impact on the future is not big enough, I think. So that's just my 2 cents worth. Hey, Sam, welcome. So 1 week before Russell won, a partial eclipse. So, ooh, well, some places it was even a full eclipse. So I think it's going to be an even bigger runaway. Okay, so if Lindblad was in your team already, then it might be good to just keep him in there, I'd say. That way you can save a transfer or avoid a -10 perhaps. You're welcome, Mad 2 Boy. Very happy to be of assistance, at least give another point, something to mull over. What lineup are you running, Sam? What is your team looking like at the moment? Like, one thing to consider though, while you guys oh, okay, I'm just seeing now that Alonso will start the sprint race from the pit lane. Interesting. So that could be, yeah. Okay, let's see here. I'm just always just keeping an eye on Twitter because like stuff can change so fast. Okay, so Matthew Boy, so Kimi, Leclerc, Alonso. I love Alonso. Hulkenberg. Oh, I imagine board is Bortoletto, and then Iron. I'm guessing is McLaren. Oh, okay. Yeah, bringing in Alonso over Bortoletto might be a good option. I think that's going to be an underrated play. Like if Alonso manages to finish the race, I think he's going to score some very nice points. Okay, and I'd also just like to bring some love here to my friend Rob from F1 Fantasy Hub. He posted a lovely little thread here. So 2 times boost, Norris strong on Friday, momentum and historical form, great pick, highest expected points in the Sims. Antonelli easy hold, and Leclerc's best lap of the day only got him P3. So prefer Antonelli Norris for 2 times. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much the consensus between everyone. Noble 2046, Antonelli Mercedes or Norris McLaren? Oh, is there any way you can fit in Antonelli and Norris, perhaps? Like if you downgrade Mercedes to McLaren, or is that too many transfers already? Perhaps you have Hadjar and Lawson in your team right now, perhaps? Okay, so a lot. Just looking back here to the thread here. Banana. Okay, so McLaren have 70 plus again. Too expensive for Sonoras. Expect 70 plus again. Yep. 3 times is great. Norris be first priority. Yeah, I have to agree there. I wouldn't activate 3 times unless you have Norris. If you have Norris and Antonelli, I think that would be good for a 3 times chip. That being said, I think Monza is a slightly better play for the 3 times chip, given that Antonelli is going to have a grid place penalty. I expect it's going to be at least 10 grid places, maybe up to 20 even. So I think that would be absolutely fantastic if we can get a minus 20. Okay, let's have a look here. So you have got Hitench. I'm just going to say 1807. So Norris, Alonso, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Lawson or Stroll, or Lawson or Stroll or Lindblad. Okay, so or Norris, Leclerc, Bottas. I'm gonna have to go with the second option there. Like Norris and Antonelli, I think is the play to go with. I just not put in Bottas if you can avoid him. I'm guessing that's Bortoleto, not Bottas. Sorry. So Norris. So I would go Norris, Antonelli, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Stroll, McLaren, Ferrari. I think that's the play for your team specifically. Between those options, I would say. Alrighty, very good. Keep the question. Oh, it is Bottas. Okay. Yeah, well, if you can't afford anyone else, then I think that's fine. Like he can't go down in price. I think he'll probably get a point or 2 here or there if he finishes the race. Yeah, not. He's basically like a putty to fill in a crack filler to fill in a hole in the wall. So, okay, I hope that answers your question. Well, if you want to avoid the potential negative points from Bottas, maybe I'd go with the first one then. So they've got Norris, Alonso. I think Alonso is a good choice. Bortoleto. Between those two, I think the Norris Antonelli team scores more, but the first team is a more solid lineup where you can later switch over to a 4A lineup more easily. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, let's have a look here very quickly. Let's start to play around with some things here. Okay. Let's do this. Hold on. Just want to send this out here. Just need to open up another window here. Just bear with me for 1 second, please. All right. Okie dokie. What other questions have we got coming in here? Where's everybody watching from, by the way? I'd love to know where everyone is located and watching from. Welcome to everyone who has joined us. Feel free to ask away in the chat or just tell me how nonsense my lineup is right now. Or what, like, with this current lineup we have here, what would you change about the lineup I have on screen right now between these two? So right now these are preemptive changes, so this is still subject to change, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this lineup. So okay, now that I have a bit more information and slept on it, let's see what I'm going to do with team 1 here. So with team 1, what can we do here? So I'd probably take out Leclerc and Lundblad if I can get... Now, just for interest's sake, if we do George Russell, what can we do? Can we get to... Okay. All right, got a question here. Norris 2 times. Okay, let's have a look. So Norris 2 times. Okay. Antonelli, Lundblad. Wait, where were you? I think I went past him. Lundblad, Stroll, Ferrari, for -10. Yeah, this thing, I am 0.1 short of Bortoleto and 0.3 short of Lundblad, unfortunately, on this one. That's the dilemma I'm having. Like, I could do this though, which I do not hate. I quite like this setup. And could I get to Russell for final fix? Not quite. Okay, yeah, I'm always like trying to think if I can leave like a final fix budget in there. Like, I only have final fix left on team 1 and team 2, as you can see. But I'm quite liking this lineup right here. So that's the thing. I so wish I had autopilot. Okay, I'm just gonna do this for now. Ooh, well, that would be a -20, bro. That's a bit too much for me. Yikes. Yeah, that's a bit rough. Let me just try and see what I had last weekend, just so I can see if we can make less changes. Okay, let me just open up here on the side. Oh no, hold on. I can just go. I'm dumb. I'm just being stupid. You can look here. So Hungary. Let's see what we had for this. So we had Leclerc. Okay. I do not want to take a -20. Definitely not. Okay, but if we... Can we change McLaren back to Mercedes? Oh, you've got to be joking, bro. You've got to be joking. Like, I'm 0.1 short of just doing... Oh, that is annoying. That is very annoying. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can do this. So we can do this. And then Antonelli. And I'm... I hate this game so much. I'm 0.1 short of Alonso. You have got to be joking me. That is... Oh, that is... Oh, ridiculous. That is actually ridiculous. Oh, that is annoying. Yeah, I agree, Matt, boy. That it is a bit of a risk, double Aston, but you know, I mean, this team right now is sitting at, oh, well, what? I forgot which rank I'm sitting at with this one, but like, I think it's about 18 or, sorry, I think it's about 26,000 in the world, so I don't mind taking a bit of a risk on this team 1. Dang it! That is legit annoying. Oh, my days. Okay. Well, is it like really that... Is that still like a -20, man? That seems excessive. That seems very excessive. Best 8-tier driver combo if you can afford every driver except Norris and Russell. That is a good question. Except Norris and Russell. Then I would go probably Antonelli and Leclerc. Between those two, I'd say. Antonelli Leclerc, because Piastri, I think Piastri will do decent, but he is pretty much a guaranteed price drop. Like, even though point 2 is not a massive change, we still don't want to throw away budget unnecessarily. So yeah, he's going to probably take a minus a 0.3 negative. So yeah, if you have to choose between, I'd go Leclerc and Antonelli. Yeah, that I would go for that. Okay, I mean, yeah, you can afford every pay except Russell and Norris. Yeah, so I would go Antonelli and Leclerc in that case. Unless I'm just misunderstanding the question. Let's see if we can. Let me just go back here just to see what I had. Just give me a second. Let's see here. So, okay, Hungary. Okay, Bortoleto was the other one. Bortoleto. So if we go back to this. So let's take out Stroll. Let's take out Stroll. Love this graphic though. It's quite funny. Okay, so if we do this, take out Lundblad. Where's Bortoleto? Bring Bortoleto back in. I can't get to Alonso. That is proper annoying. I would love to be able to get to Alonso, man. That would have been ideal. Okay, but in this case, I guess then we'll do something like this. Like that, and oh yeah, no, I forgot. I already looked at this, but I can't get there. That is legit annoying. I'm literally 0.1 short of practically every good team for this one. Oi, that is proper annoying. Okay, I'll come back to this one. This one's a bit of a pain in the butt. Now, this one here, let's see what I had team 2 last time out. Last time out, I had... Okay. Let's just duplicate this tab. Just so we can see what is going on a bit more easily. All right. Welcome to everyone who just joined the stream. Feel free to ask away in the comments. Just say hi and ask away and roast my lineups as well. If I'm being stupid looking at something I shouldn't be, just tell me and I can see what we can do. I love hanging out with you guys, so thank you for joining me on this fine Saturday morning. Okay, so we had Antonelli. Let's go to my team. Okay, so let's just revert back to where we were. So last weekend out on this, we had Antonelli, Hulkenberg, okay, and Lundblad, and then we had Hadjar. Just, I don't think he'll let me put him back in. Okay, I'm just going to put him in there just as a representative. And then we had Bortoleto. Bortoleto, where art thou? Okay. And then I believe I also had Mercedes and not McLaren. Okay. Okay, so this is our starting point. Let me just double check that. So Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Lundblad, and Hadjar. This is Hadjar, by the way. Okay. Let's see. So we've got a bit of budget in the bank. So of course Hadjar needs to go. No doubt about it. If we can get those two out, do this. bring in McLaren. We can bring in Norris. Oh, yeah, that's a bit rough. Okay. Let's see. Tough decisions. Matthew, welcome. So you have 120. Ooh, lovely. So you've got Hamilton, Hadjar, Colapinto. I'd get Colapinto out of there. Bortoletti, and Mercedes, Ferrari. Ooh. Okay, so with that, I would hold on. We've got the tools here. Let's see. So let's build a fresh lineup. Just see what we've got here. So you've got 127.1. Congratulations, by the way. That is a very, very nice budget. So, okay, interesting. So it says go Hamilton, Antonelli. Hold on. I just need to change this. I want the projected points, not the middle. Bortoletti versus Lindblad. Okay, I'll get you in just a second, Ryan. Okay, so Matthew, what the Sims are saying is you can keep Hamilton if you want, but bring in Norris. So that would probably involve taking out Hadjar, taking out Colapinto. Albon, no. I would stay far away from any Williams. I would honestly go Stroll, Hulkenberg over Albon any day. They are unfortunately just woefully underperforming. I mean, yeah. They are predicted just like above Stroll, but like I said previously, I would much rather go to my Sims here for the bottom barrel drivers here. It's still saying Stroll -2 just because of the DNF risk, but he's at the price floor. Albon is not, so he's just going to lose you budget. So I would go to Stroll just to avoid losing budget. Perhaps even Bottas because he's also on the price floor. So yeah. So just coming back to the lineup here for you, Matthew. So you've got 3 free transfers. Okay, so you can leave Hamilton, Hadjar out, Colapinto out. Bortoletti, I think we can take Bortoletti out as well. Well, you can take either Bortoletti or Lindblad out. Lindblad scores slightly more points predicted. So between Bortoletti and Lindblad, you can take them out and then Mercedes out. Bring in McLaren, Norris, and then Alonso. I think that's going to be your best lineup there. So that would be a -10, but you would keep Hamilton. And let's just have a look at some other options here. So yeah, definitely not wanting Albon there. Let's have a look. Yeah, so pretty similar there. I am 95% confident that McLaren outscores Mercedes. Like my simulations say, let's have a look here. So my sims say Ferrari score the highest, then McLaren, then Mercedes. And these are just currently ranked for, sorted by risk-adjusted points. That's why McLaren's is third and not second place here. But this is what F1 Fantasy Tools says. McLaren predicted 84.8 points, Mercedes 77. So about a 7-point difference. So the top 3 are going to be very close. I would just go to McLaren in any case, because that extra 1.6 million in budget can unlock a better team for me with B tier drivers. So that's another reason why I'm leaning McLaren more than Mercedes. Yeah, if you have a free transfer, I would use it to switch. Yes. And I would even take a -10 if it allows you to unlock better B tier drivers. So if, for instance, you've got, let's say you've got, I don't know what your budget is, but just in theory, let's say you've got Norris and Antonelli, for example, and you need to have 3 million. Let's say you need Bottas, Stroll, and what's his face? The other Hulkenberg. That's the other one, Hulkenberg. So let's say you need to have Bottas, Stroll, and Hulkenberg just to afford that. I would then switch out Mercedes to McLaren just to give you a bit more of breathing room budget-wise, so you can perhaps just have 2 3 million drivers instead of 3. So I think that will unlock it a bit of a better team for you there. Now, coming back to you, Ryan, what do Sim say? Bortoleto versus Lindblad. Okay, so let's start with F1 Fantasy Tools. What I've found is that for B tier drivers, the predicted points are quite on the low end, so and not the best point of comparison for the B tier drivers. So Lindblad, let's call it 1 point and a 0.2 drop in price. And then Bortoleto predicted 3.3 points and a slight budget gain. So I'm just going to hop over to the budget builder here very quickly. I just like the way the visualization on this. Sorry, I am working on the wrong screen here. Sorry, I've got another window open. Apologies. Okay, so let's hop over to the budget builder. I think you should be seeing it now. I'm just checking. Yeah, okay, there we go. So we have got so Bortoleto budget-wise is looking the best. So he needs 4 points to get a 0.2 budget increase and 10 points for 0.6. Now, he's got 3.3 points predicted, which I think is a bit on the lower side, like I've mentioned. So I like to defer to my sims for the B tier drivers, and even so, it sometimes is a bit conservative just because of how volatile their point scoring is. So, but let's look anyway. So Bortoleto, I've got predicted at 5.7 points. If we adjust for the risk, 7.3 points. So let's call it, let's just say 6, just happy middle, let's say. So let's say 6 points, and he gains 0.2 in budget, which I think is quite fair. Now, Lindblad is at 8 million. He is probably going to drop in price. So I think he's going to score about 10 points over the weekend. So he'll drop. So he'll be at Bortoleto's price. Bortoleto will be at Lindblad's price. Now, just as a point of reference, the last 3 weekends, Bortoleto scored 10, 8, and 16 points respectively. And Lindblad, 4, 5, and 18. So he needs to score a lot this weekend. And even if he doesn't score well this weekend either, Monza is probably going to be another price drop as well. So between the two, Bortoleto might score less points, but gain more budget. And then it's again a story of how much is that budget gain worth it, points-wise later in the season. How much points does this 0.2 million transfer to in the future? So if you want to play around with it yourself, on the lineup optimizer on my site, there is this submenu here, points versus budget. So you can play around how many points you're sacrificing, how much budget gain you're getting. And if you already have the budget gain, or like if you want to go on the forecast, future, etc. All right. So let's see here. Okay, let's see here just very quickly. So Borto all the way. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Sam. Okay, so user 45 F1. Sorry, 445. So you've got Norris, Antonelli, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Mercedes, Ferrari. This is after 2. I quite like that. I would just switch out Lindblad for Bortoleto. If you don't mind the price drop, roll that free transfer over to Monza and then you can adjust as well. I like that lineup quite a lot. Again, I would just go Mercedes to McLaren, but it's not absolutely necessary. The more important thing is, in my opinion, getting Norris and Antonelli in this weekend. That is just my 2 cents worth. All right. And if you want to compare lineups as well directly, you can do so here on the lineup optimizer on BoxBox F1 Fantasy, and you can see, the different options you've got here. So I'm just going to refresh my, okay, this is what I have so far. So let's see. Okay, take him out. I'm going to bring in Norris. I'm going to drop out Mercedes, bring in McLaren. Okay, Lindblad out, and then I think we need Stroll. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Okay. So. Okay, let's just go over to the team compare here. Say use the current. Okay. Oh, just need to tell it that I've got a bit more on budget. Okay. All right. So, okay, I do need to get Bortoleto out. I did forget that. So, Stroll, and then where's he? Hulkenberg? Oh, I already have him in. Okay, my bad. Lol. Okay, let's just come back to the questions here. Bortoleto it is. Okay, there you go, Ryan. There is your answer then. All right. And just as a quick reminder, there is a competition on my site. Beat V13. V13 is my improved virtual F1 fantasy bot, which is playing the whole season. So you can see all the decisions it has made so far throughout the season. Right here, you can see how many points it had, which chips it played, so on and so forth, what it's going to play this weekend. And it's free to enter, and you can win up to $100 in it. So it's free to enter. You can sign up with your F1 Fantasy, the email address you use for F1 Fantasy, enter my league, and then enter your team name, and then it will synchronize here, and then you will appear on the leaderboard. It is free, so please be sure to jump in there and see if you can beat the bot and win some nice cash prizes. Welcome back to the show. That is the idea. I'm just having a hard time finding some to play, but it is something I definitely want to do. I tried doing it last stream, but I unfortunately ran out of time to prepare. I was quite busy getting lots of new features up on the site. But thank you very much for the suggestion. I 100% agree with that. It will have some nice chill vibes, you know. Awesome stuff. Do you know any place good for some royalty-free music that I would be able to just chuck in here very easily, perhaps? I would appreciate any suggestions on that front. All right, now for Team 2, I can get to this tasty little lineup here. This one seems interesting. Now we've got the double up on Aston Martin, which is not the best in the world, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, gotta take some risk sometimes. So welcome back to the show. Do you have any thoughts on lineups right now that you would like me to look at, or what are your thoughts on that? What is your play for this weekend? All right, and thank you to everyone who is joining the Beat the Bot competition. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I think you're all gonna just smash it. It just shows how important it is to be an active manager, not just set it and forget it. All right. And speaking of, I am just going to update my team, my other team here on another browser, which is my experimental team using my wife's team. So. Okay, we can do this like that. And then could we get up to McLaren? No, we cannot get up to McLaren. Okay, that is a shame. Big shame. But if we do that, can we get to... Maybe? Okay, still a bit expensive. Okay. That is fine. That is fine. So perhaps we can do something like this. Oh, man, sorry. What this idiot thing is. Sorry, I'm just trying to send out... Now my stream decided to go absolutely haywire. Just 1 second. Hello? Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, should be back. Okay, I think we're back now. We're back now. Lol. Okay. So you've got again, come on, bro. Stupid thing. Okay, so you've got Hamilton, Stroll, Norris. So Hamilton, Stroll, Norris, Hulkenberg, Bortoletti, Mercedes. I mean, that would be quite an interesting thing to see, you know, Russell and what'd you say now? Russell and Norris. It's going to be interesting for sure. I mean, it's going to be nice and fun for sure. So is that the team you're going with right now, or do you have any ideas on changes you want to make? Yeah, I think okay. Yeah, Hamilton I think is an underrated choice for this weekend as well. He's predicted to score quite well, and on my experimental team, I might also just leave him in there. Yeah. No, I think on the experimental team, actually, we might take out Leclerc. Sorry, this is on another browser that I do not have set up right now for showing. Just make sure everything is still good here. Okay. So I'm just having Codex just send out some notifications for me, hence the debug. Okay. Yep, and it went again. Yep. Hold on. We're getting there. Okay. Well, I think we're back. Apologies for the interruption in streaming. Oh, there we go again. Sorry, it's almost done. It's almost done now. Okay, let me just get to your question, Gambit. I would try to move to 4A. Oh, but with a minus 20. I think a minus 20 is a bit too much. What is your current budget right now? Like, it is very, very good to get to 4A as quickly as possible, but not at the expense of going for a bad 4A, if that makes sense. Okay, so with 119.9, I would still try to budget build a bit more. Otherwise, you're going to box yourself into a corner. You got 123.1. Welcome back to the show. I think that is a solid lineup with that budget. Let's just have a look here. Just coming back to you, Gambit. I think with that budget, yeah, I think just do one more weekend. Try and keep Antonelli in there if you can, and McLaren and Ferrari if you can, or if you already have Mercedes, Ferrari, just keep them in there. But yeah, it's if you can get to 122-ish, that would be very, very nice indeed. That would help you get to a good 4A and not just like a barely 4A kind of team, you know. Okay, welcome to the show. So we've got Hamilton. Okay, so we've got no. Okay, I'm just gonna exclude Bottas here from the choices. Bottas, where are you? Okay, exclude Bottas because I do not want him in there. Let's recalculate this. Okay, so that's pretty much what you're going for. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, so the Sims seem to agree with what you are saying. So Hamilton, Stroll, Norris, Hulkenberg. Only not Bort. Oh, okay, but okay, Bortoleto. But you can just switch out Lindblad for Bortoleto. It's going to be pretty much the same. Yeah. There we go. This is pretty much it right here. You're very welcome, Gambit X. Okay, let's have a look here. For budget building is Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Alonso, Lawson. Okay, when you're saying Lawson, are you referring to Lawson, the Red Bull asset, or Yuki Tsunoda Lawson? Just want to make sure. Are you talking about bringing in Lawson as a Red Bull driver, or bringing in Tsunoda as a Racing Bulls driver? Welcome back to the show. One drivers that are veterans in the rain. Max Lewis. Yeah, Stroll is good in the rain. Yeah. That is a good point that I don't think anybody has mentioned. Yeah, no one has talked about actually the rain factor. Let's see if I can just look here on Twitter very quickly if anyone is saying something about the rain or something. Actually, let me see if I can have a look on, if I can find the track very quickly and just look at the radar. Let's see, Zandvoort. I'm just opening here up on the side. Keep the questions coming. You love to see it. Thank you to everyone who has joined. If you haven't subscribed yet, we are so close to 300 subscribers. So if you do like this video, please be sure to leave a like. It is very much appreciated and helps me out a ton. So thank you to all your support. Okay, Red Bull, Lawson. Oh, no, I'm on board with that. I am on board with that. People, I don't know why, but it seems like people are sleeping on the weather this week, and I do not know for what reason. Okay, I'm just opening this up here. Let's bring up the rain prediction. Like this rain prediction on my website, I know is not the most accurate. But I mean, like, this is the thing about weather prediction. So 86% chance of rain doesn't mean there's a 86% chance it's gonna rain. It means that if you get the exact same meteorological conditions 100 times, in 86 of those 100 times it would rain. Which it's like a weird concept to try and explain, but I am hoping we get some rain, so we get some strategy differences and stuff like that. You know, it would be so nice to have a wet race, especially if you have no negative, which I do not. I do not have no negative, but you know, it is what it is. Autopilot would also be a good shout, kind of, if I had it. Okay, so hold on, let's see if I can just now. Okay, I'm looking at AccuWeather right now. Let's see if I can just open the radar here. So let's see, Circuit Zandvoort. Let's open that up to be a bit more precise. Let's see here. Does anyone still have their no negative of yeah, that's what. Okay, thank you, Ryan. You beat me to the you beat me to the punch. That's the right word. So if I had no negative, I would play it, especially if we have Antonelli and Norris. And I think this might be a good weekend for autopilot for those who still have it. Because the gaps are so small between the top drivers, autopilot might be good. I mean, Antonelli might get the win. Norris will probably get the win, but just in case he doesn't, we're getting to the later part of the season, and we really want to start like differentiating ourselves from the other teams as much as possible. So these marginal gains is what is going to make the difference, So yeah, something to keep in mind. Okay, I just want to open this up if I can. Let's see. Maps, please. Okay, just want to get the precise location so I can pull up the precise place here. Okay, so it is right about next to Haarlem. Where are you? Just trying to find the right place here. Just 1 second. Hello. Sorry, I'm just looking here at the map on the side. Where are you? Hold on. Let's zoom out. Okay. We're close. We're getting there. Ah, here we go. Okay, I see it now. Okay, so right now, the radar is not like there is a lot of rain clouds, like literally all around Zandvoort right now, but not on it. Let me see if I can just bring this up slightly. Yeah, so like if you guys can just check it up. I'm keeping an eye on the radar, but right now there's like literally 2 cloud fronts like with rain floating just below and just above Zandvoort. I'm just trying to see if we can like there's a lot of rain pockets around, but it's like it's literally seems like it's just like going around Zandvoort, the track itself right now. It's kind of ridiculous actually. I hope we get rain, but okay, I'm definitely no meteorologist, but it seems like the rain is gonna miss the track. I'll keep checking as we get closer to the deadline, but maybe autopilot is better than no negative, perhaps. A no negative would be good for a track like Singapore, maybe. Jeremy, is it the best to use 3 times? My personal opinion, well, my opinion is personal, but my opinion is that not this weekend. I'd say hold off to play it on Antonelli next time on Monza. In Monza, rather. Just because we know he's going to get a good penalty. And Brazil... yeah, Brazil has a good chance for rain. Yeah. Sorry, I think I misspoke. Welcome back to the show. I meant more... if it rains, no negative is good to have in general. And if you have Antonelli and Norris, then Autopilot would be my chip of choice, just because Autopilot is such a weak chip, and this is kind of a good chance to use it, I think, compared to with other weekends. I would not call you crazy if you 2x George. No, I would not. That could be a very good differential play, which I think very few people are going to do. So it might pay off very, very nicely. So I would not, like, I personally am not going there just because of my current lineup limitations and transfers. Going down in budget. Let me check. I don't think anybody's paying attention to Russell this weekend. Let's have a look here just very quickly. So Russell. Okay, so he needs 60. Yeah, this is the thing about the 8-year drivers. Like, when they do drop in budget, it is not by a lot. So I think this -3 is fine in this case. So I do not hate that play. Let's just do this a bit here. Okay, we can have a bit of a better look. Okay, so how are we feeling? How are we feeling on... Does anyone in the chat still have their autopilot or no negative? But I think you already, Ryan already said that he has got no negative. It seems like I'm deducing. Okay, while you guys are typing away, I'm just going to check in here on Twitter very quickly to see what everyone is doing. So everyone seems to be onto the Norris train. Let's see. Okay. Okay, just FYI, Carlos Sainz is also starting from the pit lane. Just so, not that you should bring in Sainz by any chance, by any stretch of the imagination, but just FYI. Okay, I'm just looking through here. Okay, so Ewan from F1 Fantasy, Ewan, he is Antonelli, Norris, Stroll, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, and Mercedes. Interesting. Okay, just want to have a look at what the people are saying about that. I think that is bold. Okay, Gambit, you already used both. That is a good point. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. It is true. Like, it's kind of a weak chip, and like I already played it when I thought it would be good. Maybe I should have saved it till late in the season. So that's something I will definitely consider going into the next season. Red Bull Lawson for budget building. I think it's a bit difficult because he needs to score at least 15 points to go up in budget. So it's doable, but I mean, it's a new car for him. Like, he had one free practice session, one qualifying session. That's it. If he had free practice 1, 2, and 3, maybe I would consider it. But 15 points is a lot. Like if he did a bad qualifying, maybe, but his qualifying was quite decent. So yeah, Tristan. So you're gonna go George, Leclerc, Lindblad, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Mercedes, Ferrari. If you have a transfer, I'd maybe just switch out Lundblad to Bortoleto if you want the budget, but if you prefer the points, it's good to keep Lundblad. No negative. I'd say right now skip out on a negative. If you have autopilot, it would be a better option. If you're feeling unsure, like if you think Norris is going to win, don't play it. But if you're not sure if Antonelli is going to win, or if you have like Antonelli Leclerc or Antonelli Hamilton, perhaps autopilot might be a good choice. And also because a lot of the drivers were getting caught out yesterday by the track, like so many went off into the gravel. So there is very small margin for error, and I think we're going to see a few incidents. So autopilot might be worth playing it if you have it. Okay. Alternatives for Lawson. Okay, so let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a quick look-ski. So just hop over to the budget builder. Okay. So you want budget. So, I mean, they've got Lawson predicted for 10 points. Let's see what I've got. Lawson. I've got him at 11 points risk adjusted. So, yeah, let's call it around 10 or 8. So, okay. Instead of Lawson. If you're wanting budget, I think like Bortoleto is your best bet. Then Behrman as well, but he's been like Behrman's been a bit underwhelming. I mean, you could do Tsunoda as well, but that's kind of like wasting a transfer. Big Mike, welcome to the chat, my friend. I was waiting for you to pop up. Welcome. I am doing fantastic, mate. How about yourself? Okay, so alternatives for budget building. Like, this is honestly a pretty poor weekend for budget building. Your best bet is kind of Alonso. Like, he only needs 2 points to go up minimum price change and 8 points for a maximum price rise. So that's kind of another reason I'm trying to get Alonso in some of my teams. So yeah, but I'm going to give it another 20 minutes or so before I start selecting my final team and locking it in and getting it posted. So, okay, Big Mike, let's have a look here. Let's have a look. Thanks, Gambit. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're trying to... I've set a goal of hitting 1,000 subs by the end of the season. It's kind of a bit of a big jump to get to, but if you like and subscribe, it's going to help the channel. Thank you, man. Trying to get out as much quality content for you guys as possible, in addition to the tools on Boxbox F1 Fantasy. Appreciate all of you being here and all of the support. I really enjoy this, and I hope to keep doing it for a very long time. Yeah, so budget-wise, yeah, I think Alonso is the best bet instead of Lawson. If I can just get back to you, Gambit. Yeah. Big Mike, okay, let's get to your question, my friend. Let's have a look. Let's have a little look-ski and break this down for us. Okay, so Kimi Leclerc, Bortoleto, Hülkenberg, Stroll, Mercedes, Ferrari. Okay, solid. I like that. Let's see here. Lando over Kimi with a -10. That is a difficult one. Is there any chance you can fit in Norris and Kimi? I think that might be a bit of a stretch, but if you can, I would go for that. But that might be a -20, so between those two, well, I'm going to put it like this. If you feel Norris is going to win today, I think bring in Norris. If you, he's probably going to set the fastest lap as well, so that in itself is already worth 10 points. Oh, that is annoying. 0.2 short. Even if you take out Bortoletto, okay, that's a lot of transfers though to take out Bortoletto. Yeah. Okay, so I'll put it this way, Big Mike. So if you think Norris is going to win today, yes, especially if you think he's going to get fastest lap, which I think he is, and then if you think Kimi is going to finish at least third or second, maybe keep him, because we're probably going to want him next week as well for Monza. So that is also something to keep in mind. Getting Kimi in there for next weekend. So if you can fit him in there by next weekend, I think you can go Norris. So, I mean, I blabbed a lot there. So, if you think Norris is going to win and get fastest lap, bring in Norris. And especially if you're going to be able to bring in Kimi next week as well. So, yeah, that's about it. Oh, thank you, Gambit. Appreciate the compliment. Very much appreciated. Yeah. I love all the guys in the F1 fantasy space, like all super supportive. And I wouldn't have been here where I am already without their help and support. So appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Tell your friends about my channel and join my league. All right. So let's have a look-see here. Okay. I am sorry if there is any buffering. I just had a massive spike here on my network usage for some reason. Okay, so we are heading into the final 40 minutes before the deadline. Does anyone have their teams locked in yet? Is anyone happy with their teams, feeling confident and solid about it? I do apologize for the buffering. A lot of people just came to my house, and yeah, so they are using using a lot of my bandwidth right now, unfortunately. So I do apologize for the buffering. All right, so tell me, Big Mike, you can keep me on if you drop. Oh, no. Do not mention Williams drivers in this place. This is a safe space where Williams drivers can't hurt us. So please do not go for Albon. I would say though, I think maybe if you feel like a bit extra risky, Big Mike, you can take out Bortoletto and bring in Alonso, especially because Alonso is going to start from the pit lane. So I think he is going to be a lovely little option there for us. Just FYI. So just wanted to put that out there as well. What is your team 2 and T3, Big Mike? I'd love to hear. So Gambit, I'm locking Antonelli, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, Alonso, Mercedes. Thanks for the hearts. I'm going to send you guys a heart too. There you go. Oh, the point. Oh, okay. The 0.2 short is already if you take out Bortoletto for Alonso. Oh, okay. Oh, that is such a pain in the butt. I'm sorry. Okay. 1 more week of budget building. Okay. That's fair enough. Gambit. Welcome to everyone who just joined the chat. It's good to have you all in here. Everybody just give me a little hi in there in the chat. Tell me where you're watching from. Who is your 2-times pick for this weekend? Lawson. Sorry, not Lawson. Lando, I meant. Lando, Antonelli, Leclerc, Hamilton, Russell, maybe. We had someone in here saying they're going to go Russell 2 times. Very brave. Ooh, okay. Big Mike with the differential play here. Max Lando. I think that I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that that's going to be the top scoring team here right now. Max, Lando, Hulkenberg, Aston Twins, Mercedes, and Ferrari. Mind you, I would take out Mercedes and bring in McLaren, just if I'm being totally honest. But yeah. Team 3, Kimi Lewis. Ba-ba-bum. Very solid. Just a question, Big Mike. Is there a reason you prefer Mercedes over McLaren, given that McLaren are predicted to score about 7 to 10 points higher than Mercedes? Is that just like your long-term hold or a transfer saving, or what's the... Yeah, no, I second that. Welcome back to the show. Max Lando is a very, very interesting and spicy choice. Like, he's not predicted a lot. Hold on, let's just have a look. Like, it just felt like Max was nowhere yesterday, to be honest. I mean, like, 18 points. My F1 predict, I have been neglecting F1 predict big time. Like, so you're doing long-term investment in Mercedes. Okay, that's fair play. I mean, they are the top scoring constructor, so, and especially if Kimi does well next week, I mean, Mercedes will probably outscore McLaren, perhaps, just because of his overtake points. Yeah, but I think we're going to see a McLaren resurgence in the second half of this season, so that's just why I'm personally going for McLaren. Alrighty. Thank you to everyone who has joined the chat. Just leave a heart there in the chat if you can, or just say hi. Thanks to everyone who has joined so far. Appreciate each and every one of you. All your comments, questions is very much deeply appreciated. Thank you all, man. Okie dokie. So, we're getting to about 35 or so minutes left until the deadline. This thing keeps refreshing. Okay, let's start making some decisions here. Let's see. Okay, with this one here, Team 3. Okay, let's do something like, let's just see how much budget we have right now. So we have 124.1. 124.1. That is quite nice. That's quite nice. Okay, I don't hate that. So, oh dear Lord, no Paris. Thank you very much. I'm just wondering why Leclerc is predicted so high. I mean, I think Leclerc is gonna do well, but he was just not like that great. Zach, well, sorry, that budget's just I haven't seen a budget that high ever in my chat so far. Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Lawson, Norris, Hulkenberg, and so I'm not quite understanding what you're doing, Zach. So I'm assuming you're going Antonelli, Red Bull, Lawson. But what about Hadjar? So you're switching out. So Antonelli out for Norris, and Hulkenberg in, and Alonso. I think the no negative is a good choice. Well, with 1.9k. Oh, you're taking out Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, and then bringing in Norris, Hulkenberg, and Alonso. Well, congrats on the 1.9k overall rank, by the way. That is very, very impressive. But with that budget as well, I mean, whew, that is eye-watering. Eye-watering. Well done for you. Yeah, minus 20, that's a bit of a big hit. Like earlier on, I was saying that getting to a 4A is worth a minus 20. But if you can get to a good 4A with just a -10. I would prefer that over -20. So yeah, maybe just stick with the Mercedes, perhaps. Then again, like if you want Kimi and Lando, it might be worth it though. That's the thing. As there's a bit of a challenge, yeah. That's the thing. Hindsight is always such a luxury we never have until it's too late. But yeah. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. We're doing our best with the limited information that we have. Okie dokie, artichokes. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay. So we've got 30 minutes left to decide. Okay, just looking at the general consensus between other F1 fantasy managers, it seems like the Kimi Lando is the most popular lineup at the moment. I would do Mercedes to McLaren for -10. Yes. They are predicted to score 8 points more, 7 to 8 points more, depending on which sims you look at. And we'll also need to take into account the potential, pit stop bonuses and so on, fastest lap, etc., which is very hard to incorporate into simulations reliably. So, but I think McLaren are going to be a strong Mercedes contender as we go into the rest of the season. And eventually, I would like to be able to move to a Mercedes-McLaren lineup if possible. So I'm specifically favoring McLaren this weekend, first of all, due to the simulations, and also due to the early sims for Monza as well. Monza seems to favor McLaren based on the early physics-based simulations. So that is a reason why I'm trying to move to McLaren, if at all possible and practical. All right. Hello, DChen95. Welcome. Good to have you here. Have 106.9. Leclerc Alonso versus... Let me just have a think about that one for a second. Leclerc Alonso versus Norris Stroll. So Leclerc 30.5. See here. So Alonso, let's just say 3. Let's, for argument's sake, say 5 points for Alonso. I think 5 points is doable. So 5 points. And then Norris, 40 points. So it's 41. Let's say 46 points. And then Leclerc Alonso. Sorry, my apologies. So 27 plus 5, so 32 versus Norris, 41. Stroll. Where's Stroll? I bet down here. Minus. Let's just call it -2. So 41. So 39 versus a predicted 32. It's going to be close, but I think Norris Stroll is going to outscore Leclerc Alonso. Yeah, so between those two, I'd go Norris and Stroll. Yeah. Antonelli, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Mercedes. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid, DChen. Yeah, between those two options, I'd go with Norris and Stroll. You're very welcome, Matthew. I'm very happy to be of some assistance. Archit Ganapuli. With going Mercedes Bottas to McLaren Alonso. Yes, absolutely. Big time. Bottas, I mean, DNF king there. That Cadillac's still DNFing like no one's business. And yeah, Alonso, I think, has got some good scoring potential. For those who have just joined, first of all, welcome. And Alonso and Sainz are the ones so far confirmed to be starting from the pit lane. So that's just something you definitely need to take into account, especially for Alonso. So, and McLaren themselves are predicted to score much higher than Mercedes this weekend. So I would prefer McLaren over Mercedes. Hey, Rob is in the chat. Welcome, mate. Yeah, I agree with you. There's like a little part of me that wants to play 3 times as well. Especially on Team 3. It's got the biggest budget and it's the only chip I've got left to play here. Yeah, so I kind of want to get it out of the way. So with this one here, I'm really wanting to get like a McLaren. Yeah, I still want to see what I'm going to do with this one here. Like if I can get to Norris, it would be fantastic. Yeah, I can actually get there. But how many transfers would that be? Okay, -10 is not bad. You know, I'm just gonna do that for now. And which part of you doesn't want to do 3 times, Rob? How about Limitless? Don't you want to do Limitless, perhaps, maybe, rather, if you still have it? Oh, just a question. Does anyone in the chat still have Limitless left? That is true. Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah. Low Me is in the chat. Welcome, good sir. Okay. Worth sacrificing Mercedes in order to avoid Aston. I don't think it's necessary to avoid Aston Martin completely, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like I wouldn't take a -10 just to avoid an Aston Martin. Let me put it that way. But in any case, I would prefer McLaren Ferrari over Mercedes Ferrari this weekend, just as my 2 cents worth. Yeah, there do seem to be a bit more unknowns than desirable for 3 times. I mean, it is a sprint weekend though, so if something does go a bit askew, we have qualifying and the race to make up for it. If something goes badly in the sprint race, we have some chance to... Okay, not taking any hits. Okay. In that case, you could do it. Like I said, I just wouldn't take any hits to try and get them out. I'm kind of wanting to bring in Alonso just for reference because of his potential point scoring and budget building, but it is... Aston Martin remains a risky asset. Have you decided on your final lineup yet, Rob? Apologies, excuse me there. Okay, let's get back here. So, what about Antonelli, Hamilton? Okay. Interesting. Antonelli, Hamilton differential over Norris or Antonelli. Oh, over any Norris or Antonelli Leclerc. Okay. I don't hate that, to be honest. And I was considering something like that for this Team 3. And also, Hamilton does have a lot more experience in the wet as well. So that might be an incentive to go towards him. But Norris and Leclerc themselves are also quite proficient in the rain. I mean, not massively. I mean, I think it was 2021 Norris, wet race through the winner way. Well, that was more McLaren strategy, I think. I can't remember if he wanted to stay out or anything, but yeah, Norris and the wet aren't necessarily the best combo. Yeah. autopilot Leclerc, Kimi. That is not a bad option. Between those two, I'm not sure who would score the most. Probably Antonelli. The Sims say Leclerc, but they are, I mean, like this is like a rounding error. So between these two, if you're going to go with these two, I'd play autopilot. If you have Norris, I don't think Norris and Leclerc or Norris and Antonelli or any other combination, I don't think you need autopilot. Unless you're trying to ensure against, an incident in turn 1 or anything like that. So that is just something to keep in mind. Alrighty, fantastic stuff, folks. Now, before I run out of time, let us actually decide what we're going to do here. Okay, let me just take a second here. Let me just take a second and a sip of coffee. Let's think this through. Team 2 is the one I'm currently the least unsure of. Let me just duplicate this tab again so I just can keep things a bit more organized. So team 2. Now the question is, do I keep Hulkenberg and Stroll? I know I'm a brave person. I'm very brave. I have nothing to lose except a lot of ranking overall. Let's see. How many sprint races left? Ooh, that is a good question. I'm not sure, to be honest. Hold on, let me see. Let me just check quickly. Let's see. Let me just get that info for you. I do believe it's just the one in Singapore, unless I'm forgetting another one. Is it just Singapore? Hold on. Let me check. 07. Okay, there you go. Just one left. Singapore. There you go. Yeah, like if I were in your position, I would not risk it either. But like I'm currently about 14k, so I need to take a little bit of risks. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So just confirm. Yeah, this is the second to last sprint race. So we've got the Dutch Grand Prix this weekend, sprint race, and then the last one is in Singapore. Yeah. So that's the last one. But Singapore's a risky track, though. Singapore is very risky, very DNF prone. So I'm a bit hesitant. To go for like Limitless there. It's a hard overtake. Yeah, I'm probably going to play Limitless there, but I'm not sure. I actually am tempted to play it this weekend, but the only thing keeping me from playing it this weekend is that I have Hajar in my team, all of my teams. I only have Limitless left for team 2, and it has Hajar in it. So that means like after this weekend, I would have Hajar back in my team. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but and there's also the chance he does come back by next race week, which I hope he does not, just because like he should just heal properly so he can race properly, but yeah. Alank 9330 or 9330. Is autopilot viable with 2A drivers? Depends. Who do you have in your team right now? It depends on which 2A drivers do you have. So if you have Norris and Antonelli in there, I'd probably go Just so you know where I'm coming from, I'm saving the 3 times chip for next weekend with Monza. Antonelli Leclerc. Okay, with that one, I would play autopilot because the difference between the two is so small. I'm not sure which one would score higher. So for that reason, I would lean towards autopilot over 3 times. If you want to play 3 times this weekend, I would put it on Lando if you can. Okay, let's just review here. So we have, okay, and then we Hadjar, Portoletto, and Mercedes. Lindblad, McLaren, or Alonso, Mercedes. Yay, that is a difficult one. Points-wise, I think Lindblad, McLaren scores you higher points, honestly. Alonso, Mercedes might get you a bit more budget. But between those two, I'd probably go Lindblad, McLaren if I had to choose between those two. Okay. Maybe with this one, maybe let's do something like this. I had Lindblad in there. Okay, maybe let's do something like this. So keep that. Keep Mercedes. Then can we fit in Norris? Yes, we can. Excuse me. Is it beneficial to substitute an 8-year constructor to afford another 8-year driver? At this point, I would not. If you have an 8-year constructor already, I would not bring in a B-tier constructor. In my team 3, I have Racing Bulls and Mercedes, I believe. But that's kind of like an experiment more than like a viable strategy. So yeah, I would not take out an 8-year constructor. Generally, the constructors is where your big bulk of points comes from. So I would not go to a B-tier constructor right now. And also, it would be a difficult choice because Alpine's upgrades seem to be working quite well, but their price point's a bit high for a B tier. Well, technically they count as an A tier constructor right now, so you'd have to go down to Racing Bulls for a decent B tier constructor. And then you've got the unknown factor of Yuki Tsunoda. Like, I'm sure he's going to do just fine, but like, he is not like up to speed with the car as Lawson was. So yeah. Antonelli or Norris? If you have all of your chips. Ooh, if you have all of your chips. Honestly, if you have all of your chips and you do not have Hadjar or Lawson in your team, I would go Limitless, to be honest. Because later in the season, more people are going to have more expensive drivers, and then the difference between a Limitless team and a normal team becomes smaller. So if I did not have Hadjar in my team, my Hungary Grand Prix team, I would play Limitless this weekend, just to be clear. The only reason I'm not playing Limitless is because I have Hadjar in my team. Flood, welcome, man. Good to see you here. Do you have any gossip news for us? Is anyone else starting in the pit lane besides Alonso and Sainz? You're always like on top of the new breaking news. So Vajda, I think, 3 times is good, but Limitless might be better. You're very welcome, by the way. Oh, dang it! I was hoping you'd have some good gossip news for us, perhaps. Okay. So regarding Limitless Flood, I think you probably just heard what I just mentioned. The sacrifice needed will Why you mean? Yeah, it's Lando 2 times. Yep, Kimi, Charles, and George. I think. You know what? I'd honestly chuck in Verstappen over Piastri. You know, just because, just because. And I would actually go Mercedes McLaren instead of Ferrari McLaren. If I'm remembering correctly, it's Mercedes McLaren predicted to score the most. So if you're playing Limitless, I'd go Lando, Verstappen, Antonelli, Russell, Leclerc, McLaren, Mercedes. That's how I would go for Limitless. Like, I wanted to play Limitless going to this weekend. That was before the whole Hadjar, fiasco. So yeah, that is the reason. Now this team 2 is such a I think we're gonna do something like this with this team. Hold on, let me see. I can't afford anything else funny here. Yeah, I think this is the only option we can do. But how many negative points? Minus. Oh no, that is way too much, man. Aye. Okay, so, like if you don't mind transferring Hadjar out, well, Hadjar might be back for Monza already. We don't know, but that is just, I do not want to have to deal with that. I'd rather get him out of my team now, and then have a more definitive weekend. Decide on when to use the Limitless. 2 -10 on team 1, 3 transfers for team 3, and use Limitless. Okay, and okay. Alright, so transferring out to save my team 3. I'm going full send on team 1, going Lando Antonelli with Stroll and Hulk just to rank push as. Yeah, I'm on board with that. I am very on board with that. Now the problem here with my team 2 is this, like it's like I can't. I do not want to take a -20. That is like so bad. -20 is so bad. If we do, hold on. See, if we do this, I think I'm just gonna have to do something like this, just to not take -20 or -10. I might need to take a -10. Okay, so here we've got. Can we get to Alonso and yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna have to do with this team right here. Oh, hold on. Could we keep? Okay, no, we can't keep. Okay, I'm just short on Bortoletto and Lindblad. Behrman. Now, there's an interesting choice. Hold on, what is Behrman predicted? Behrman. I'm not feeling that, to be honest. Because he's gonna probably be a transfer out next week. Let's see here, Behrman, where are you? So he needs 10 points. Yeah, I don't think that's worth it. I think I'm just gonna have to risk it. I think this makes the most sense, unfortunately. Or if I do this, then I can keep Lindblad. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep Lindblad. That should save me a transfer. Why is it not letting me continue? Is that what I had? Hold on. Yeah, that's what I had. Lol. At least I'm coming back to the same conclusion, so that's fine. Is there anything else we can do here? I don't think so. Can't really do anything else. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna stick with this. Yeah. Had Lawson and... Oh, Hadjar and Lawson. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Yeah. Now, with this team here, I think I'm just going to leave that. You know what? I'm just going to... Hold on. Do I have any transfers left on this one? Hold on. What did I have last weekend on Team 3? We're getting into the last minutes here, people. We need to hustle. Okay, so we had Lindblad. Okay, that won't help me a lot. So yeah, okay, so I'm just going to leave the... You know, I think we'll leave that as is. Let's just have another look at this team here. Okay, of course, I want Lando as my 2 times driver. Thank you very much. You know, just to be different, I'm just going to do this. No, just kidding. Just kidding. We're going to keep Stroll and just hope he does well. Otherwise, I am so screwed. Like, we could get to Mercedes. No. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's the stupid point one that I'm short on everything. Okay. Yeah, I think we can do that. Okay, on Team 1, I still have the 3 times final fix and wild card. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that as is. I think we are in a pretty solid setup here. What chips do I have here? Limitless? Nah, I'm not going to do that. Nope. Yeah. Like, I'd really love to get to Norris, man. Hold on. Let's do... Can I not get to... Oh, okay. Well, I can do this, right? Can I get to Antonelli? Okay, not quite. Okay. Okay. How about this? Let's try this on per size. See, is that a minus? Yeah, I don't love that. Don't love that. Okay, I need to hustle up and choose. I really should start choosing earlier in the stream because... But you guys love to see me sweat, I'm sure, so... Leave a sweat emoji in the comments. Okay. Okay. Let's hold on. Let's just look here. Let's just think this through on Team 2. Kill. Oh, same Big Mike. Same. I did the same thing and it absolutely murdered me. Yeah. Okay, hold on. If we leave McLaren. Sorry, if we leave Mercedes. Okay, if we take out... Oh, gosh, damn it. Can't quite... No, that does not work. If we leave Bortoletto... Hold on, where's Bortoletto? If we do that... Oh, but then I'm not getting 2A. That's the problem. If you get Kimi... Oh, just short of Lando, man. Just short of Lando. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I am short. I'm very short. Oh, dear goodness me. What a disaster. Hold on. How much will that be? How much of a... Okay, that's just a minus 10. Okay. I don't hate that. You know what? I'm probably going to regret this, but whatever. No. Yeah. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. It's probably stupid, but... Minus 10. This is minus 10. Yep. I think we're going to do that. Let's do that. This I'm probably going to regret this so much, but let's do this. Okay, I'm just going to screenshot this and post on X very quickly. But yeah, throw in your last minute questions. Wish me luck. Okay, it is done. It is done, people. Oh, this is going to be spicy. This is going to be a spicy weekend for sure. I mean, keep Leclerc and yeah, it probably makes the best sense. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, wait, why do I need to take Bottas out? That's the thing. To take Bottas out. Can we get to... Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah. I think this makes a bit more sense. It's probably the most rational. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think you guys saved me there from a bad decision. Okay. But if Bottas scores well, I'm gonna come back and blame you guys. Awesome stuff, people. Thanks you so much for joining the stream. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, always good to have you guys here. Thank you so much. All right. Need Alonso to go up, and yeah, I think you're gonna get that, Mike. I think you're gonna get your wish. So, with seconds to spare, we made it. We made it. Everything is locked in. Good luck, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the stream. It's always a pleasure to be here with you guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't done so, please leave a like, leave a comment as well on the stream. If you're not subscribed, please do so. It helps me out a ton. And I'll just remind you, you can still join the Beat the Bot competition here. It's free. You have up till the second to last race to enter and submit your team, so you are eligible to win the prizes. Sign up for free, join my league, enter your team name here, and then you can register. You should get an email with instructions as well. And if you want to support the channel a little bit more, you can sign up for the Pitwall subscription on Ko-Fi that allows you to save your team here, synchronize it with your F1 Fantasy team as well, save your budget and so on, and get personalized emails with suggestions for your team based on the predictions. You get early access to simulations from myself, and also dedicated blog posts on Ko-Fi as well. Have a good one, Mike. I'm gonna head there over as well. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you next time. Good. Bye.